You're listening to a bonus Minisode on the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. In this little Minisode, I'm going to answer a question that I got in my DMs about struggling with marketing because the person identifies as an introvert. And they wanted to know if I had done any training courses on this. So I don't believe I have, so I thought it would make a fun little mini episode to talk about. And the response that I gave her is that I'm also an introvert. And this is why I love networking online. I've gotten clients through Upwork, which is a great place to find clients because they are there searching for a bookkeeper. They already know they need a bookkeeper. You're not trying to convince them. You're more working on trying to show them that you're the best person for that job, which is a lot easier as an introvert because it's all done basically through typing and then maybe a phone call or maybe a Zoom. I've also gotten clients by networking in Facebook groups, which comes from just adding value, answering people's questions. One hack that I like to do is join Facebook groups of my ideal client where they're going to be hanging out. And then I go into that Facebook group and search in the search bar for bookkeeping or QuickBooks or Xero or other keywords so that it pulls up any question that people have asked in there related to bookkeeping. And what I do differently, I do not go into the comments and say, I can do that for you. I'm a bookkeeper, blah, blah, blah. Like, you answer their question, deliver the value, and leave it at that. And when you continue to show up over and over again, delivering value without selling yourself, people notice and your name pops up again and again. And I even add value on non-bookkeeping questions. So showcasing my knowledge around other areas of business. So that is another way to network as an introvert. Third way that I get clients is through guest teaching in programs and podcast interviews. I'm lumping those together because they're very similar, although they could be two separate. They're definitely two separate ways to get clients. But I have gone out and built relationships with people who run programs that teach my ideal client. So I will show up in their groups virtually, do Q&As, do a presentation. It's the same presentation that I do for all of them, and I just tweak it based on the specifics of that business or that sub niche. And same with podcast interviews. I build relationships, I pitch myself for podcasts, and it's been working out. So those, I guess, 4 ways of networking as an introvert have been very successful for me. I've also been experimenting with Alignable, attending their networking events because they're virtual. And what happens is they're usually pretty big, but you go into breakout rooms with 3 or 4 other individuals. You each get to talk a few minutes about your business and see if there's any, pardon my corporate jargon, but synergies and ways to potentially refer those people. And even if you can't think of them now, it's a good idea to keep a database or a spreadsheet of some sort of all the people that you are connecting with in these networking events and have a little, have their information, have a blurb about who they are, who they help. And that way, if or when you come across someone who needs that help or that service, you can go to your little personal database, your Rolodex, and refer those people. And hopefully they're doing the same for you. And lastly, if I do in-person networking, which I rarely do, but if I do, I try to bring a buddy. And then I did a podcast episode way back about how I went to a networking event and turned right around and left because I did not have a buddy and I'm an introvert. If I am at a networking event, even if I have a buddy there, but especially if I decide to brave it alone, I always seek out the other person in the room by themselves, like the other loner in the room, right? The other me. And as uncomfortable as it is, the more you do it, you'll get used to it. And if you just look for that other person, there will be that one other person who is sitting alone or not really talking to anyone. Maybe they're standing next to somebody and they're just not really engaging in conversation. They're kind of drifting off. Find those people. They are there. All right. So that's it for today's little bonus minisode. I hope this was valuable to you. Talk to you on our next episode. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shu. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout, and you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.